Like, you got a stomach ache, corona, headache, corona, rash, corona. Like, literally, it's not corona. Hey guys, and welcome back to Solid PharmDation. Yeah, so we've all been living a very different life, right? It's been about a month and a few weeks since we've been in quarantine and just, staying home and going out with masks and just living this life that nobody really expected. So I kind of wanted to talk about something that we're most likely facing in light of Corona, the pandemic, and everything that's going on. I know that with like coronavirus and everything, a lot of people have been afraid of, maybe seeking medical attention or going to the doctor, going to the emergency room. And I only say that because we had like our own little scare in our house. It wasn't corona, because now it's like any sickness is corona. No. So there's still other people are still dealing with other things, right? So I know for us, like when we were dealing with a family member being sick, it was just like no one was thinking about the emergency room. Nobody wanted to call because everyone is like thinking about risk versus benefit. Do I call 911? Risk getting the virus? Do I just deal with what I'm dealing with at home? And I mean, it was kind of challenging because you're like, it's kind of like you don't want to put yourself at a higher risk of getting, something that is considered deadly. A lot of people have been affected by it. We as a family have been affected by it. We've lost family members to COVID-19, not in my direct household. So I just kind of want to talk a little bit about our experience. And I know that with people dealing with other diseases, I kind of want to encourage people to still seek medical attention if you need it. So for us, when we when we were dealing with it, when we were dealing with, family member possibly needing medical attention, we, tried everything. We were home, everybody was just nervous, anxious, panicking, doing whatever they could. And it wasn't until about 3 or 4 a.m. that we ended up being like, okay, you know what, we have to call 911 because we are not sure. Everybody's mind was just going somewhere else. Or like some people are thinking heart attack. Like it was just a lot going on. So at that point, we were like, okay, I mean, we have no choice. Let's just call and see. Hopefully it doesn't get worse. So we did. And on the call, the first thing they asked us was, is there anybody at home with symptoms of COVID-19? So they asked, is there anybody with a cough in your house? Or is there anybody who's had a headache? Basically just trying to knock out whether or not anyone in the household could potentially be infected. And so once we answered no to those questions, they said, all right, they did the regular procedure, stay on the phone with you, paramedics will be there so it's possible. So eventually, once the paramedics got here, so they were masked, but they weren't like in full-on PPE. Like, we've been seeing nurses and doctors and people in the emergency room and things like that. We were wondering, okay, so first of all, we were already like anxious and nervous about the fact that if they did have to take our family member to the emergency room, we wouldn't be allowed because obviously doctors and everybody's just trying to limit access to, the public and because you just don't know who has what, right? So in terms of protection, we were like, okay, so we're gonna have to stay home. And that was kind of like the hardest part about having the call. But the thing is, once they got here, they came in the house, they brought like their materials, they did an EKG, checked blood pressure, so they did all of that in the house. And then they gave us the option of, okay, well, we have been able to rule out a heart attack. Do you still want to go to the emergency room? So we decided not to because that was our biggest fear. So basically, just being able to have that experience of like, okay, it wasn't what we were expecting, first of all. Like we were expecting, okay, they come, they take you, they go. And we're like, okay, like what if it is, okay, if it is COVID-19? The funniest thing is we were thinking it could be, but like none of the symptoms lined up. You know what I mean? But it's just, I think with everything that's going on, the first thing that immediately comes to anyone's mind is corona. Like, you got a stomach ache, corona, headache, corona, rash, corona, like literally. So it's just like with everything now, everybody's mind is like corona, corona, corona. So once we were able to rule out, okay, it's not a heart attack, it's not corona, we're just like, okay, we opted out on going to the emergency room. You know, I think that was part of so that anxiety of like thinking like, okay, could it be a heart attack? Could it be corona? I think all of that increased, you know, my family members, like just anxiety and like whatever it is that they were facing, it just kind of like increased. You know what I mean? So like, so say we weren't anxious about all of that, maybe they wouldn't have had palpitations or an increased heart rate, increased blood pressure, you know, just a lot of other things that comes with anxiety. So thank God it wasn't that bad. And once we were able to rule that out, like I said, they did give us the option of like, okay, do you want to go to the hospital with us? And we decided not to. But I think that in light of everything that's going on, I think a lot of people are second guessing if they should call 911 or if they should go to the emergency room, because that's the same thing that we were dealing with. We were trying to figure out, okay, is it risk versus benefit? And I just want to say that if it is serious, just go ahead and call, because first of all, like I said, they did make sure, you know, as far as like we being in the household, did anyone have symptoms, and I think that dictated how they came to our house. Even with us, with the person having to go there, I'm pretty sure that the hospital is taking extra measures to make sure that uninfected people remain uninfected, and that those that are infected remain isolated from those that aren't. So I think that as far as that goes, we should have a little bit more trust in our healthcare system, because obviously they're the first line workers and they're the ones that are dealing with the outbreak. They're the ones dealing with the patients and all of that. So they necessarily wouldn't want to do anything to get more patients, if that makes sense. And it's better safe than sorry, right? So because what if you're dealing with something that is potentially serious and could potentially lead to death? So think of death versus what if I just called, went to the emergency, and trusted that they would take care of me the way that we are hoping, you know, just the way that we're expecting. All in all, I'm just saying, like, if you have to think about life versus death, like, or I don't know, life versus corona, I think that if you're dealing with something serious at home, go ahead and call. And the fact that they were able to even come and like attend to us in the house and did some things at home, yeah, I didn't know that was going to happen. We didn't expect that to happen. And they were able to rule out, you know, our biggest fear in the house, so that we felt like we didn't need to go to the hospital. And everything's been fine since then. After that, the family member called their primary care the next day, and they got the necessary medication, so they're fine. Everything's fine. Yeah, I just wanted to say that because I know that it's something that we faced, and it's something that we were thinking about. Like, it's kind of like, okay, my condition versus corona, and there are far worse conditions out there than corona. You know, corona is literally, it's not the worst thing in the world. People are dying from it, yes, but people are dying every day from other things: heart attacks, strokes, influenza, literally other conditions that, if left untreated, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, if left untreated, can also lead to death. So it's just to keep that in mind. I know a lot of us are being affected by people who have had coronavirus, and it's a tragedy, but just keep in mind that there are corona didn't come and kick out all the other conditions that were already there before. We still have all those other sicknesses, you know, it just came as an addition. So just take care of yourselves, and, you know, still try to just do your best, take your meds, stay adherent, just exercise, you know, just the regular. Just at this point in time, just you know, keep in mind that there are other things out there, and just seek attention if needed. Don't wait until the last minute. Don't wait, you know, because you feel like it's not that serious when it could potentially be that serious. You just never know. are silent diseases. Heart attack is a very, high blood pressure is a very silent disease. We hear about it all the time. But a stroke, nobody prepares for a stroke. You know what I mean? So if you're feeling any symptoms, chest pain, symptoms that you just don't normally feel, chest pain, severe headache, things like that, you know, blood clots, so like severe leg pain, things like that, just those are triggers. Call 911. Don't wait. Don't stay at home because you're trying to escape corona, because something else can meet you where you are. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say. Yeah, I just wanted to encourage everybody to continue taking care of themselves, and just knowing that, you know, the healthcare system is thinking about us, and I'm sure they're putting things in place to take care of all the other conditions that people still face on a daily basis. Yeah, so that pretty much concludes this video. I haven't really been shooting a lot just because I've been busy. I've been busy being a full-time student online, which is so not the way I want to live my life. But yeah, so I've been busy just, you know, trying to finish school, trying to do my finals and all of that, and just dealing with, you know, family here and there, and people being sick, this or that, and just, you know, anxiety, like everything that has come with quarantine, you know, just dealing with the house and trying to study in the house and trying to be a full-time student, trying to graduate. I'm not graduating this year, but, you know, just trying to move on so I can graduate eventually. So that's part of the reason I haven't really had time to film or anything like that. Just been dealing with everything. Yeah, I hope to film more in the coming weeks. If you have any ideas or anything that you want me to address or talk about, put it in the comments and I will do my best. Thank you guys for watching this video, and see you next time on Pharm. Bye.